we've changed our distribution model. We now are aligned with Peacock. And so people were feeling like they felt like they were going to be rolled under other groups and that perhaps people might be let go. And so they let go a lot of people in their office today as well. Their executive vice president of advanced media, Jaylor Dunlin, who had been there 8 years. Some reorganization of offices. A number of divisions will be moved from the WWE Network and the production and digital sides of the company under the executive vice president for television production, Kevin Dunn. Sorry, I'm skimming through.
It's okay.
The James Wortman, who was the WWE content director for 11 years.
Yeah.
And a lot of them were reflecting, like, I didn't expect this today, but they're trying to move on. Adam Kirshner, who's a name that people might not be intimately familiar with, but may have heard through the years.
Yeah.
And he was the first ever .com intern
Yep.
for the WWE and worked all the way up to build the WWE's YouTube presence. He was heavily involved in how the WWE relaunched the WWE Network before it was moved over to Peacock. So he is gone as well as the WWE Executive Vice President of International, Jay Rosenstock, as now it looks like WWE President Nick Khan will be overseeing the international offices to align them more with the WWE headquarters. So it's interesting that, they're taking this moment to, okay, how do we reorganize? How do we restructure? We've seen record profits this past year. Let's trim down the fat that much more. So it's interesting to see, what is the future going to hold for the WWE and how they move forward. But we have bigger and better things. We have things to look forward to that we can talk about with AEW's Double or Nothing.
Looking forward to that this coming Sunday. Once again, Sunday, May 30th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. 5 Pacific. Damn. Took me a second there. Hey, Ted Guinness, what time is it in Idaho? A lot of these matches I'm really looking forward to, and there's a couple that's making me go, huh? Okay. Because you've got title matches abounding on this episode. And of course, AEW is making it a full weekend because they're doing a Dynamite on Friday, the Fan Fest on Saturday, and then, of course, the pay-per-view on Sunday, which, of course, will be all the way across the board. Dish has already gotten in touch asking, do you want this? I say, let me get closer to the weekend. I'm still going to end up getting it, but if you give me a discount, I'll order now. Sorry, it's the way to look at it. Advance reservations. But it doesn't always work that way to a restaurant either. Hangman Page versus the FTW champion, Brian Cage. Of course, Taz is going to be in his corner on this one. Your thoughts on the match and who have you got?
So it's interesting, and this is a fan critique. I've seen a lot of fan critique about the steam that Hangman Page had go as he got into AEW seems to have slowed down a little bit. Even when there was a little bit of is he in the Dark Order? Is he secretly leading it behind the scenes? And now here's Brian Cage, who has a lot of energy behind him. You have Team Taz, which has a lot of energy behind them. I really see Brian Cage walking away with this one.
The problem that AEW has is the antithesis of what WWE had for a while. They have a coag or a quagmire at the top tier. On any given day, let's look at this for a hot second. Out of the 7 matches that are currently on AllEliteWrestling.com, Page, Cage, either of those could be AEW champion at any time, and it be believable. Miro, Lance Archer. I feel for Lance Archer because he's been the victim of that start, stop.
Yeah.
Miro had not gotten any real traction because he'd been in the middle of all this hullabaloo with Kip Sabian, Penelope Ford, best friends, all that other stuff, and it's like, I left WWE for this, or I signed with AEW for this. There are so many people who thought that Rusev could have been a viable top-tier champion. We're going to get to that match in a minute. Let's look at Scorpio Sky. There have been people who have said he would be fast-tracked to a possible title run. Darby Allin has shown that he can be a solid standard bearer. Moxley, former champion. Kingston could be champion and be believable at it. Then coming over to, God help us, the Stadium Stampede. MJF, Jericho. Either of those could be viable champion all over again. Jericho, again, MJF for the first time. My only real question mark in that whole group is still Shawn Spears. They haven't really done that much with him. And then, of course, you've got the three that are involved in the World Championship match: Pac, Omega, Cassidy. With all due respect, and there's a lot of it, I don't see Orange Cassidy as that top-tier champion yet. Pac, I can see. But coming back to the... and once again, everybody that I know had made the statement that WWE did not cultivate enough top-tier talent for the major titles. And you saw what they did on SmackDown with pushing Nakamura back into the, with a rocket. Then you had Cesaro with a rocket. And I still see people on social media and on message boards, comment sections. I still don't see why they didn't put the belt on Cesaro for a minute. Why? There's something that should not have happened. And I'm sorry, I've said it before, I'll say it again. There was no reason for Reigns to drop the title. Sure, it would have been a feel-good moment, but how much momentum would Reigns have lost? Case point scenario. Did Paige really lose that much momentum in everyone's eyes when he took that loss to Cage? I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I didn't see it because of the way the match started. They covered their tracks and covered their bases by having Cage powerbomb Paige on the staging area before the match even began. Yeah, Cage powerbomb Paige.
Powerbomb Paige.
Yes. I got that right the first time, believe it or not.
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
I'm proud of you.
We have a problem in this world called 50-50 booking. And it's a methodology in play of making one person advance without costing the other person a step back or more than one step back. My gut reaction right now, Paige gets the win back over Cage at the pay-per-view. So I'm taking Hangman Page on this one. And you're taking Brian Cage?
Yes.
You making notes?
No, I was responding to something else.
Okay.
So sorry.
Tag team attraction match. Darby Allin and Sting versus Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. And this one has been made personal. But has it been made too personal? Phil?
Okay, there's no way that Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page are going to make it past Sting and Darby Allin. 0-0, 0-0, double or nothing going down. Sorry. I hate to say this, and some of it is because of the execution of Ethan Page's arrival in AEW.
Right.
I know Ethan. Like, I feel bad for saying this, but something has not clicked for him in AEW.
He's been the victim of start-stop. He's there for a minute, then he disappears. Then he comes back, then he disappears. People don't have a chance to genuinely become invested in his character. Therefore, they don't have a chance to really hate his guts like they should.
And that's fair. Like, as a character, Ethan is superb. As a wrestler, he's superb.
Yeah.
But he has struggled. He has struggled at AEW. And from what you said, his in-ring presence has not gone as well as anybody expected since he got into AEW either. So I'm worried for him, and I want him to move past that adversity and move on. But there is no way that Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page are getting past Sting and Darby Allin.
I beg to differ. I think they will. Because I think, okay, Darby doesn't need the win, and neither does Sting. At this point, Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page need this win because the momentum that they are trying to build for those two gentlemen is very fragile. And when you have got the plethora, the cornucopia, the en masse of talent that they have at AEW, it is so easy to get lost in the shuffle. Another case point scenario, we'll talk about him in a second, Lance Archer. So in this particular setting, Sting and Darby don't need the win. They're going to be just as much over after a 3-count loss or after a submission as they were before the match began. So in this case, I got Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page with the win. TNT Championship on the line. Miro defending against Lance Archer. Here's your problem. I'll lead on this one. Miro just got the belt recently. If you pull that belt off him right now, even with the factor that Lance Archer easily can represent that championship, and if you keep him with a sustained push, he will be that top tier personality, especially with Jake Roberts in his corner.
Yeah.
Lance Archer, to me, is a better heel than face. Jake Roberts has always been a better heel than face. Jake Roberts, when he was in NWA, when he was in World Class, especially in World Wrestling Federation with the Snake Pit, he made it so easy for you to despise, yet still respect the hell out of him.
Yeah.
Lance has had so many times where they've missed a gear and had to downshift for his run in AEW. This, if he loses this match, he can win by DQ, he can win by countout, Miro can walk away, all of the above. Lance can keep the win in that particular regard without Miro losing the title. Do you take the belt off Miro this soon to put it on Lance and possibly try to right the wrong that has been the AEW run of Lance Archer? I've got Miro retaining. I hate to say it, based on temporal anomaly in play, it's too soon for him to drop that belt. I might be wrong, but I doubt it. I got Miro retaining. Phil.
I struggle with this match. I really, really do. And for a lot of the reasons that you just said, just got the title. I kind of feel in the same respect about Miro, though, that I feel like his presence isn't even like where I would love for it to be in AEW. It's strong, it's significant, but you know what? Promo class 101. You know, you don't take out the character, not the character of the person, but you don't go after their wrestling ability, because what happens then when they beat you? If you call this guy, well, you know, you suck in the ring, blah, 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 then it makes you look bad when they come and beat you. And I feel like there's been a little bit of that from Lance Archer.
Yep.
And which maybe that's just a weird pet peeve. I love the hell out of Lance in AEW.
So do I.
Really do. And that's kind of why I struggle with this, because it's like he can be that guy. And it's kind of funny to a degree, because you have in AEW you have Lance Archer, in Impact you have Madman Fulton,
yeah,
and in WWE you have Braun Strowman. Put them together, you got the greatest 3-man stable ever.
Hello, Freebirds.
Right. I really like Lance Archer. I really want him to win. I don't know if he's going to win past Miro. I'm going to give it to Lance Archer.
AEW Women's World Championship. Hikaru Shida defends against Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, with Rebel, not Reba, in her corner. And Rebel is still beautiful. I don't care who slams their speaker down and goes, Eddie, you're at it again. I don't care. Rebel is still beautiful.
Yes.
You won't take